Well, hello, friends, and happy Friday. Sorry to be a few minutes late there. It's furnace season, and I didn't want to start the show with the furnace running. I did not turn it off tonight because I don't want the missus to freeze her, well, I'll just say I don't want her to freeze. So it's going to come on again. I apologize for that, but we've lived with it in the past, and but I didn't want to start the show off with it. So anyway, happy Friday. I've got the Matches Memorial Friday Savinelli, as is the tradition here, and it is, of course, loaded with Haunted Bookshop, as is the tradition, and I just got that lit. Great to see so many of you folks gathered already. I know I saw my buddy Todd, and there's Lord Hogarth, Smoking Sade. I still can't see this darn monitor. I'll tell you about that in a bit. Phil Rivera, Jeffrey Feinberg, Little Piper Todd, yep. Got you, Big Dave, Codger Jim, Sigma Man Tony from Rhode Island. Hey Tony, Backcountry Pipe. Hello Mark, Brian Dawkins, Stanley Smith, and Kevin Dorr. There we go. I think I'm caught up. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on where I suddenly just cannot see this monitor, but I think it's the monitor. Because last Saturday after this show, I've got a single line down the middle of this monitor, so I know it's going bad. I don't know if it's the ribbon cable or if it's the monitor itself. And I looked into replacing it, and it's better just to wait, and when it dies, I'll get a new laptop. But on Saturday, when I went to use the computer, it had about 40 little lines going down it. I thought, oh, the monitor's not doing so well. On Sunday morning, it was fine again. I don't know. It just took a little break on Saturday or something. But it's probably the quality of the monitor is going down, and that's why I can't see, or I'm losing my vision. Let's see. Big day, but Michael Case, how you doing, Michael? Iced tea and no pipe. Won't be spoken until after Christmas. Still not feeling well, Michael? Or are you just doing that as an Advent thing? Or I hope all is well. Stony Lawn Cottage pipe. Let the fun begin indeed. And I'm having some fun. There's Paul the Piper. Ochoita. I think I'm caught up. Good to see you guys. So I'm double fisting it tonight. I'm finishing up some Jamesons, and I got a bottle of that Brooklyn Black Chocolate Lager that we'll be opening up shortly. So, but just finishing up a drink from earlier, and yeah, so good day today. Relatively slow. Got a lot of work done, but I've been at it all day, and yeah, it's been a lot of, I hate to say year-end nonsense, but frankly, it is year-end nonsense. You know, it's just everything leading up to the Christmas break and Christmas vacation and all that. And everybody wants something done, and everybody wants to look good before the end of the year. And I'm like, you know, buddy, you had 11 other months to do that in. But such is life. And we got some wacky stuff going on right now that, if I get into it, it's going to turn into a psychoanalytic session, and you guys are going to be the psychoanalysts. I'm not going to go there, but it's not bad. It's just craziness right now at work, and it's about a person, and it's about, you know, everything's fine. My job is secure, and all the people that work for me, their job is secure, but this person's just doing everything they can to make life difficult. And they're on their way out. There's no question about it. But it's just it just gets you to the point where you're losing sleep at night over it, you know. And it's always that one person. But it's Friday, so we don't have to think about that for another whole couple of days. Just trying to show you're in charge. Well, that's a really good thing to do, Michael. So I wish you all the luck with that. You are in charge, buddy. Gary Edminster, late again. I'm going to start calling you Gary Late Again Edminster. No, Gary, you're never late. You're just in time. There's Timber Drifter. Good evening to you. He's got some Virginia Flake in his Peterson. So everybody ready for Christmas? I know it's still quite a ways away. I mean, for a lot of people, it's not even something they've started thinking about. And then I drive home from work and I see dazzling light displays, and I'm like, how did you have time for that? I haven't even gotten the stuff out of the attic yet. You look like I'll look the day after Christmas, you know. And my wife and I are still going back and forth on what we're exactly going to do. We do this every year. It's traditional, you know. I really would like to make a trip to New York City for a couple reasons. I want to take her shopping as one of her Christmas presents, which makes it easy for me because then I don't have to buy it. I have to buy it, but I don't have to shop for it. Then just be nice to take a little trip. I don't know if it's going to be a day trip or we're going to stay overnight or whatever. But so that's one option. Then we got another option of, you know, let's go to, I don't know, she's been wanting to go up to, it's called Cherry State Park. I think there's this park up in I think it's Potter County, up in north central Pennsylvania, that has one of the most beautiful views of the nighttime sky in the area. And she's been wanting to go there for years, so she thought, why don't we take a drive up there? And we'll go back and forth on this until, like, you know, the day before I go back to work, and it'll be like, well, I guess we're not going to do anything this year. And it's a shame because we miss out on things that way, but maybe we'll get somewhere. Maybe. Phil, are you suggesting I buy the person I'm talking about a cup of coffee and a smile every morning? If so, I'll tell you there's two problems with that. I mean, I love the idea, but I've already tried it, and I've all but gotten the coffee thrown in my face. But not That's metaphorically, not really. Uh, the smiling part I'm good at, and that seems to work well. And I'll throw in things like, I'll ask about the family, and like at Thanksgiving time, I ended an argument by saying, well, I guess you're off to enjoy some time with your family. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and that I think bothered them. So yeah, there's that whole kill 'em with kindness thing. It does work, but this is the kind of person that can twist things around so quickly and stab you in the back that you can't even trust them with a smile, it turns out. So. Brian, you were asking whether it's the monitor or the video board. I don't honestly know. I've not sort of. I thought it was possibly the ribbon cable, but it could be the connector to the board, I suppose. This computer is old enough that I think it's time to get a new one anyway. I just have to decide what exactly I'll get and when exactly I'll get it. But we'll keep this guy running as long as we can, just for the heck of it, because that's what I do. Smoke and Sade is back on the road. We'll be listening, won't be able to comment. All right, well, God bless you too, buddy. You have safe travels there. Good evening, Doug Owen. Good to see you, buddy. But no matter how bad your day is, Haunted Bookshop makes it better. There's Ron Hardcrackers. How you doing, Ron? And Highland Duncan. Good evening from Scotland. Glad you can catch it, buddy. It's good to see you. Big Dave needs a new laptop at home and wants to know if anybody has any recommendations. And now we'll roll in 700 people saying MacBook. Couch shows up on cue to say MacBook. Welcome home, Couch. All week I said I got to learn how to say welcome home in Spanish, and I didn't. So just pretend I said that. Maybe somebody else can fill in for me and welcome Couch back home from his trip to Mexico. Backcountry Pipe's got some Johnny Black. Sounds good. MacBook Air is 8 years old and still no issues. Well, good for you, Kevin. I mean, I've had this computer for well over 10, might be closer to 12 years. And it's been through a war. I mean, it's got cracks in it from where I've dropped it. And I mean, but it's Linux. It's essentially bulletproof. It's the hardware that gets you in the end with Linux. Yeah, Cadre Jim, I know absolutely nothing about the whole Mac ecosystem, but I've heard people say similar things. And the odd thing is with Linux, it's the exact opposite. I have my system updates automatically every day if there's an update available. So it always has the latest software on it. And it doesn't just update the operating system, it updates everything. And that keeps it bulletproof because you can't make a virus against it in the Linux world because it'll just immediately get shut down. Kevin says, are Dells any good? People will. So I don't know. I haven't bought anything other than I bought my wife a Samsung laptop maybe 6 years ago or so, and I bought this System 76 custom built machine that I'm using right now that I was referring to. A good laptop could be Diana Rigg. Okay, Doug. Got me going already. Bienvenido. Did I say that right, Ochoita? There you go, Couch. Oh, Couch got the flu. Are Dells any good? I had a Dell laptop that I actually well, basically I took it out of the trash at work. I mean, we were throwing them away, and I said, I'll take one of those. And I basically formatted it, installed Linux on it, and I used it for probably about 8 years after the company I worked for said it was trash, and it never gave me a problem. I stopped using it just because it was smaller than what I wanted. Everett, the Canadian ozone killer. Everett, the urban hermit, big and burly in the Friday Sabanelli. Fantastic, Everett. And why he's killing the ozone, I don't know. But stop that, Everett. We need that ozone. Alienware laptop. Great power and great price, says Paul the Piper. I've played with those. I've never owned one, but I've played with them. They seem to be pretty powerful machines. There's creator of the Boundless Universe. Lee Merriweather in a Catwoman suit might be better. Nope, I'll go with Diana Rigg. Sorry, creator. I mean, it's not bad. Not a bad second place, but Windows 7 Home Premium on a Gateway desktop. There you go, Gary. There you go. There's Hillbilly Piper. How you doing, Donnie? Yeah, I worry that someday we will create time travel and Doug and I will have a race to get to see who can get back to 1960s Diana Rigg first. That's that's my greatest fear. Because I think Doug might be faster than me. Ah, you got the forest fire. Okay, I get the ozone killer thing now, Everett. Glad to hear it, Donnie. I will put in a plug for my favorite computer company, and I'm probably going to go back to them, and that is this company, System 76, which I get absolutely nothing from other than support. When you buy their computers, you pretty much get lifetime support, which is nice. And, even now I had about maybe 2 years ago, I, all by my lonesome, screwed up the operating system, and I couldn't get the audio to work. It was my fault. I did something, and I broke it. And they worked with me for probably about 3 weeks before they were able to figure out what I did. And never once, complained about it, charged me for it. And this was, after I had the computer over 5 years. So great service, good solid products, but they build Linux-based computers, which if you're not a Linux person, that's no help. But if you are a Linux person, it's great because the computer is actually built for Linux. And if you want to become a Linux person, or if you don't know what Linux is, let me know. I'd be happy to help you understand it, because not on the live stream, obviously, but it is a life-changing experience when you realize that Linux is out there. It works better than Windows, it works better than Macintosh, and it's free. Donnie can turn a computer off and on. Donnie, there are days when that's about all I can do. And sometimes it can even be challenging. Yes, Santa is watching, Everett. It's that time of year. We don't have no elves on no shelves around here. So now what I'm trying to decide on, sorry to turn this into the IT hour, but hey, it's better than me talking about that person at work, believe me. So System 76 has some really nice laptops, and I might go that route. But the furnace is going to come on. I apologize, but we can't let the wife breathe now, can we? So they have some really good laptops, but they're also making, I don't remember what they're called, but they're just these little boxes. And I mean, they're little. They're smaller than a cigar box. that are essentially a desktop computer. It's everything that you need, solid state hard drive. You can have an external solid state drive as well, or an additional solid state drive. All the HDMI connections, all the USB connections, everything you need, but it's just in this very small form factor. And I'm thinking maybe that might be a better option for me than a laptop, because the truth is I never really use this as a laptop. I switch it from where it is right in front of me now to over there where I have a larger monitor. But I could do that with a cable, or I could just leave the box over there and have the monitor over here. The keyboard I'm using the laptop keyboard right now, but when I'm over there, I have a USB keyboard. I just plug the USB dongle in. So I don't really know that I need to have an actual laptop, and that might be the smarter choice because it's much cheaper. You don't need to buy the monitor, you don't need the keyboard and the case and everything. It's just a little box. So I think it's about a third of the cost. So to get the same power, you can get it for about a third of the cost. Paul the Piper is exceptionally good at breaking screens. Oh boy, Paul, that's not good. Santa the guy with the guitar. The urban hermit can turn a woman off. Yeah, I can do that too, Everett. I can also occasionally turn them on, but it's usually a mistake. Raspberry Pi, I've thought about that, Phil. I've seriously thought about it. And I might do it just for the fun. Paul, are you still having that problem with that Santa wannabe showing up in the red thong and all that? Linux is based on Unix, which is Apple. Okay, Artie. Just because Apple stole their operating system from Unix doesn't mean that Linux is Apple. Linux was written independently. It was, yes, the concept was based on Unix, but it's an entirely open source software. There's not a stitch of code that has been duplicated between Unix and Linux. You cannot say the same thing about Unix and the Mac operating system. I rest my case. Or at least I state my case, and I'm not going to talk about it any further. Good to see you, Artie. Hope you're well, my friend. Oh, that is cool. Yeah, if you could get, that would be really cool, because I do use my work laptop. Then I'm referring to Kevin Doolan's comment about getting a wireless keyboard mouse that can switch between 3 machines. That would be really nice. Gary, I think Santa and G string would get shot around here, but Doug, I hope MeGo means something that the kids say is an acronym and not that you're leaving, because, like, MeGo now. I don't know why you would talk like that, but don't go. I won't talk about computers. Ron, that's one of the reasons I regret not having children. I got to keep up with the technology on my own. My wife got a new car a couple years back, and we were trying to figure out how to get. So she has the ability to use a button on her mirror, her rear view mirror, to activate our garage door opener. But I can't figure it out. I've tried everything, and at one point I said to her, "Look, you're going to have to find a 12-year-old boy. That's the only option we have." And we haven't yet done that, so it doesn't work. Artie, I think I'd agree with you on that. Although I have almost zero experience with Mac, I can't imagine anything being worse than Windows. Yeah, but Couch isn't, and I'll defer to you on this because you're smart when it comes to these things. But isn't BSD based on Unix, or isn't it a Unix distribution of some sort? Ah, thank you, Backcountry Pipe, getting us back to pipes, which is what we really should be doing. Artie, it's the furnace running. It'll clear up. The audio will clear up in a minute. Sorry about that. Ryan, I highly recommend converting it to Linux. And Kevin, I had a Tandy 1000. No, I didn't. I had a Timex Sinclair 1000, and I miss it. There's my buddy Poem. How you doing? Oh, my eyes glaze over. Okay. Anyway, back to Mark's question about 9 millimeter filter pipes. Mark, you're going to find people that won't smoke without them. You're going to find people that think they're a complete waste of time. I'm kind of closer to the latter category. I find that all they do is decrease the flavor, and that's about it. So I don't get any benefit out of them. But I know there are people out there that will say they can't smoke without them. They get terrible tongue burn if they don't. I think it's probably a personal chemistry thing, and just, try them. Give them a try. Like this pipe is actually a 9 millimeter pipe, and I put an adapter in so I don't have to smoke it as a 9 millimeter pipe. But you can get pipes like that and try them at least, and then put the adapter in if you don't like it. Let's see. Oh, Ron, I might try arguing that as well about the whole already taken down Christmas thing. Does she have to activate the mirror button with a tube of Blix? I hope not, Phil. I hope not. Greg Tunnel, how you doing, Greg? Congratulations, Mad Piper, Trucking Piper, Bob, Stevie Roberts, Tramper, Scott, Ryan Quilty on being Gene Panzer's goal winners. Well, congratulations, guy. BSD is Unix. Okay, thank you, Couch. Oh, that would be mighty kind, Paul. Thank you. You remember the Timex Sinclair, Couch? I wish I still had that. Sailor, no, we're just getting off track a little. You know how it goes. We'll be talking about Ginger and Marianne soon enough. Don't worry. Yeah, Kevin, that's the way I feel about it too. The filters dull the flavor, and it's one more thing to worry about. But Artie's chiming in here that 9 millimeters are the best in his opinion. And Artie, I know you've argued strongly for them, and they work for you. And I think that's the way you have to approach it. And yes, if you're gonna buy a filtered pipe, Vaughn are fantastic because of the way they design the filter chamber. The filter actually will wedge in place in the Vaughn chamber, whereas in most pipes it's just floating around in there and it doesn't do anything because the smoke's just going around the filter. Stanley Smith has a 9-year-old set up his laptop. Wow, you must have a high-tech rig there. I can still use a 12-year-old for mine. It might be Artie, but I would not be surprised if there was something in some people's chemistry that just makes them more sensitive and the filter helps them out. Billy Piper's jumping on Marianne. Yeah, it's my fault. Sorry. How many Christmas episodes were there on Gilligan's Island? Big Dave says he only remembers one. Dave, I don't even remember one. It seems like there should be one, but I can't say I actually remember any details from it. Oh, Brian Dawkins, so you had the 16K upgrade pack that you had to push into the back there, and if you accidentally move the computer a little bit, you would lose the connection and lose everything you've been working on? That's cool. I had one of those too. Smoking and chewing on activated charcoal could be an option. Wouldn't be a very palatable option, Paul. Oh, Gary, I'm going to have that song stuck in my head now. So I finished the pre-drink. I'm going to open up this Brooklyn Black Chocolate Stout. And I'll tell you guys, this really is the most wonderful time of the year. Because I took this out of my garage right before I came down here to start the show. And it is at exactly the right temperature. And it's just sitting in the garage. It's like this magical room that just sets the temperature of the beer perfectly for me. Most wonderful time of the year. I did remember a glass this week. I know some of you were very disappointed in me last week. Not too shabby. Get my coaster over here. I wouldn't want to ruin my dust and tobacco ash covered table here. Alrighty. Yeah, that's a good point, Artie. They definitely absorb moisture, and even if that's the only thing they do, when they're catching that moisture, it's probably in the form of steam, and if that gets to your tongue, that's gonna burn you. That's true, Ron. We don't want to recreate the bear wolf incident, so I got you. I fully agree with you. Oh, Big Dave, that does sound familiar. Santa Claus arriving on the he was lost or something. Kevin Dolan's loading up the Viking 2022 Christmas pipe. Gary says there was a Christmas special on Gilligan's Island. Okay. Looking at Peterson's. Okay, backcountry pipe. Well, that's another story altogether. Yeah, it's definitely as dark as Guinness, Big Dave, but it's good stuff. It's a stout, and it's a 10%, so it's a potent stout. Patrick Grant, how you doing, buddy? Yes, Jeffrey, we are going to do Tobacco of the Week. We took a week off from that last week for the Christmas tobacco. But we'll get back to it this week. Everyone on Gilligan's Island was lost. Yep, you're right, Phil. You're right. But Santa was flying over and got lost, like in a storm or something. Shiner Holiday Cheer brewed with peaches and pecans, says Ron Hardcrackers. Sounds wrong, but is actually good. Isn't that funny? You know, I never would have tried a beer like that, but years ago I tried a it was like strawberry jalapeno or something. And I said, oh no. And the waitress said, oh, come on, try a sample. So I tried a sample and it was like fantastic. I actually wound up buying a couple of growlers of it. And just last Tuesday, maybe, we went out to dinner and I wound up getting one of those, is it guava cart mango? Something cart mango. Help me out, Phil. Um, really good beer. And, I just never thought I'd like the whole fruit beer thing, but surprisingly good. Artie, maybe it shouldn't be resolved. It's kind of like what's the better tobacco, Burley or Virginia? I mean, depends on the person. It doesn't have to be resolved. Everett, I wouldn't say that peppermint mocha is a great blend. I wouldn't say it's an offensive blend, though. I mean, it's certainly something I'm going to smoke over the holiday. I've had a bowl since Sunday, and I'll probably have a bowl this weekend. I'll smoke it as much as any other aromatic. I won't order more of it, but it's non-offensive, and if you want to smoke a Christmas aromatic, it's probably worth a try. Oh, the printer was fun. The printer was a thermal printer, so you had to have special thermal transfer paper for it. Oh, I never had the 32K pack. We weren't rich kids, Brian. It's funny. They weren't that expensive, really, in retrospect, I guess, but they seemed very expensive at the time. Oh, Patrick, that is cool. Smoking a 673 KS Oceano at the oldest tobacco shop in New York City. 1910. Man, that's a history. You watch Black Christmas, Paul? I never said I liked the movie. I said it was a Christmas movie. There are people that claim Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I think they're wrong, and I'm just saying if you want to believe that, then you have to believe that Black Christmas is also a Christmas movie. That's all. I didn't say I liked it. Mango cart, guava cart. Oh, you asked. The one I had was mango. I still haven't found the guava. I've been looking. I can't find it at any of the beer distributors here, and I haven't seen it on a restaurant menu yet. But the mango is very good. 2020 Peterson Christmas. Very nice, Patrick. Bearwolf and Miss Kathy, how you guys doing? Good to see you. Gary's stout is 12.5%. Well, don't let me. I didn't mean to start a war of the alcohol percentage stouts there, Gary, but yours is stouter than mine. Couch just says Burley is better. Okay, well, we solved that one. Well, Sailor, the beers I'm talking about definitely have a flavor of, in one case there was the jalapeno strawberry where I could definitely taste those things. Even had a little bit of spiciness on the back of the throat from the jalapeno. And this mango cart is definitely a mango flavored beer. So I don't think it's just marketing in these cases. But yes, you're right. I mean, they don't have to do much to be able to call it those things. I think we're rapidly getting to the end of this bowl, which is earlier than it should be. I was probably puffing too fast through all that exciting computer talk. Big Dave on his never-ending quest for a tobacco that produces copious volumes of white smoke wants to know if there's any tobacco that makes so much smoke that we wouldn't be able to see me on the live stream. No, Phil, no. Oh, couch, I'm not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole. No, I will. I don't need beer or sockets or laptops. Thank you. I appreciate everyone's generosity, but I'm good. Andrew Sirigliano, how you doing, Andrew? Good to see you, buddy. You know, Doug, you're right. I mean, that is approaching red wine numbers, the 12.5%. That is something. I was watching a completely unrelated video the other night where these people were drinking and watching bad movies. Don't ask me why I watch this. It makes me laugh. And they had a beer that they claimed was 65% alcohol. And it came with a warning that you shouldn't drink more than a certain amount, and it was actually meant to be mixed with things and stuff. There's 60. There's no way they can make yeast do that. That had to be supplemented with alcohol. And why you would do that, I just don't know. The Smooth Piper, how you doing, Peter? No, that's the nice thing about it, Phil. It's not like a heavily artificially flavored mango drink. You're drinking a beer, and you know you're drinking a beer. And in this case, it is a nice Belgian wheat, but yet the flavor is definitely there, and it complements it well. 71 degrees for Beowulf and Miss Kathy. My goodness. That makes it hard to get in the Christmas spirit, I'm sure. Smooth Piper's got some haunted bookshop at his Friday 7, Ellie. Very nice. And Poem says he's drinking white wine that wasn't good until he added lemon juice. I've never heard of anyone doing that, Poem. Interesting. Postum, the fake coffee made from, I don't know what it was made from, but I do remember Postum. You didn't miss it, Andrew. It's coming up, although I don't think there's any G&H blends left in there. I think we've seen everything that's in the box at this point. Gary. That's not nice. Oh, Phil, you know how to hurt a guy, don't you? Oh, Michael, I am so sorry to hear that. Absolutely, you've got our prayers. Michael says his sister in Canada has ALS and has decided to die on Monday by assisted suicide. My goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that, Michael. We will definitely be praying for you, my friend, and for her as well. It basically is Mystery Science Theater with alcohol, although not as well done. Yes, Sailor, I know that once you get much above 12, 15%, the yeast are going to, I mean, maybe there's some resistant strains now, but I can't imagine you can go more than 20% without killing the yeast. Yeah, I agree, Doug. It either has to be distilled or they have to be just adding in ethanol. Postum is still available. How about that? A hot drink and you don't have any coffee and it was a reasonable coffee substitute. It wasn't bad, but if what you really wanted was some coffee, it wasn't very good. Roasted and powdered grains. Okay. $45,000. Wow. I assume that's 2016 in Canada. My goodness, that is a tragedy, Michael. $70-mile-per-hour gusts. Wow, Phil. I guess you're glad you got that wall up in your shop, huh? You'd be blown right out the door. Doug, it is amazing that we know these trivial facts about things like, how much alcohol a yeast can withstand. And yet if you ask us about, something practical like I don't know, crop rotation or weather forecasting or something, you know what? About half of us would know, but we all know about the yeast. Lethal Weapon was a Christmas movie? Oh, Gary, don't make this more complicated for me. Yeah, Phil, I mean that's the tragedy of it. You can't change your mind after it's done, huh? Wow. That's the other interesting thing, Poem, is that we all have something we know how to do that is very niche, and it's unlikely that anybody else on this live stream at least would know. So Poem, his special skill is he can tune and clean a harmonica. I didn't even know you could tune a harmonica. So I have finished the haunted bookshop and have emptied the pipe, and for some reason I'm still sitting here with an empty pipe. We'll wait a few minutes. It's still a little bit early for the tobacco of the week, I think. Phil can find a Jew's harp, jaw harp, bark, mouth harp, whatever they're called. Is that your special skill, Phil? You can find one? Oh, you can tune one. Okay. That's a bit better. Ah, you know what, Doug? I forgot about The Thin Man being a Christmas movie. Yes, that's a wonderful movie. I love that whole series. And Myrna Loy, man. If you get to Diana Rigg first, I'm going further back and getting Myrna Loy. Furnace is going to come on again. XJ, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Phil, none of that dirty kazoo talk here. Oh man, they even got an acronym for it, Michael. That is just crazy. Oh, Timber Drifter. If you've never seen a Thin Man movie, you're in for a treat. I mean, they're a product of their time, but man, are they fun. Nick and Nora Charles were a husband and wife detective team, and well, technically Nick was the detective, but he couldn't have solved most of the cases without Nora. And at least in the early ones, they just have a wonderful affinity for a drink and very uh, well written, rapid fire dialogue. So they're great movies. I really enjoy them. Yeah, Jean Harlow was not bad either, Michael. You're right. You're right. I've always been more of a Myrna Loy, Greta Garbo type guy. Oh, Backcountry Pipes. I love Columbo. I watch it quite a bit. And the funny thing is, I keep seeing episodes I've never seen, or at least I don't remember seeing. You had one of those moms, XJ? Yeah. I think we need more mothers like that these days. It's the furnace, XJ. It'll be off in a few minutes and it'll go back to normal. Sorry, we just got to live with it. Yes, Phil, Columbo annoyed, he just pestered people into confessing. He just decided early on who was going to be guilty and just pestered them until they confessed. And I have this dream of doing well, there's a couple of crossovers I want to do. And unfortunately, they're all departed now, so we can't. But I wanted to see a Columbo Perry Mason crossover where Perry Mason gets all the people off that he pestered into making false confessions. I thought that would be fun. And I also wanted to do an episode where Columbo goes to Cabot Cove, Maine, and pestered Jessica Fletcher into admitting that she murdered all those people. Because she murdered all those people. There's no question in my mind. Nobody finds that many corpses in a small town like Cabot Cove, Maine, without being a murderer. So, yeah. But all of those actors are gone, so we will never see that. Oh, Peter Falk was amazing, Phil. I really loved Peter Falk. Codger Jim, favorite artist for a Christmas song. Wow. I've always had a soft spot for Mel Torme, so, and of course he wrote the Christmas song. Oddly enough, wrote it on a very hot July day in Los Angeles as a way to try to keep cool. It is the most recorded song in history. I believe that's still true today. And he wrote it as a joke. Jeffrey, the furnace is on right now. It will go away. If it's anything else, it's not anything I can control. Jessica Fletcher's eyes were too close together. Had to be a murderer. Yes. Crosby and Sinatra, both good choices, Donnie. Yeah, I love those shows where, so Murder She Wrote is one. I don't know Somerset. Are you thinking Midsummer, Phil? Because that's one my wife watches. I watch it with her a lot. And Midsummer is another one where there just can't be enough people in that area to support that many murders. A lot of people have sung White Christmas, Kevin, but I believe the song was originally written for the movie White Christmas, so Bing Crosby would have been the first to sing it. Okay, the furnace is off now, so the audio should be back to normal. My audio is being clipped. Am I using an equalizer? I'm using, so I've got some noise filters on because if I don't have them on, everybody complains about the laptop fan. So I put the noise filters on, and probably when the furnace is running, there's some distortion and clipping. But, you know, such is life. I don't have a soundstage here. It's my basement. This is what we work with. Yeah, Matlock was good too, XJ. I like Matlock. I like Macmillan and Wife. I saw somebody mention them earlier. But for me, the best have always been Perry Mason and Columbo. And if you want to go to more modern times, from my point of view, I think Inspector Morse was fantastic. I just loved John Thaw in that, and I thought that was an incredible series. Holiday Inn, but Holiday Inn, it was Bing Crosby, wasn't it, Patrick? I know it wasn't the movie The movie's name was Holiday Inn, but Bing Crosby was the person in the movie that sang White Christmas, right? Couch is smoking some Weybridge in one of Phil's pipes. Can't go wrong with that. But hey, speaking of tobacco, I think it's time for the tobacco of the week. Because having had a whiskey and a 10% beer, I might not be able to read soon. So. All right, so we're going to pick, so just so you know, I'm not looking here, but you can see I've turned one of the things over, and that's because that's the one, I don't remember what it was, but it was some Virginia flake that was not bad, but I didn't finish the whole thing, and I didn't want to pull that out immediately, so I turned it upside down, and as we have to put them back, I'll turn them upside down until we run out, and then I'll flip them back over. And we'll start to mix other things in too, but let's see what we got here. So we got number one. Should have taken the glasses off. Don't vote until I pick all three and try to vote by number. Number one, Bill Bailey's Balkan. 2013, I believe that says. Bill Bailey's Balkan. You know, it's been a while since I've had a lot of Kia Balkany type thing, so that might be interesting. Number two. Quantum. And number three. Oh boy. Hearth and Homes, Frenchie's Son of a Bitches. Or Sons of Bitches. So, number one, Bill Bailey's Balkan. Number two, Quantum. Number three, Frenchie's. What's it going to be? Got to vote for one. 2 votes for one. 3, 4, 5 votes for one. 1 vote for 3. 6 votes for one. 2 votes for 3. 3 votes for 3. 3 to 6. 3 to 6. Oh wait, so we got 5 to 6 now. One has 6. Oh, one has 7. One has 8, one has 9. Looks like one is running away with it. Looks like we got one. Yep. Okay, let's call it at that. It's number one. So I'm smoking a Balkan. Gary Edminster is the lone vote for Quantum. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gary. That's not true. No, I think you are the sole vote for Quantum. But anyway, we'll get to Quantum eventually. But it looks like we're gonna be smoking some Bill Bailey's Balkan. Yay! There's no Frosty Mint in this one, XJ, but you missed last week when I had, I think it's just Frosty Mint mixed with some sort of a mocha. The peppermint, North Pole peppermint mocha. Michael Case, you smoke the Frosty Mint. Is that a peppermint? Maybe we'll get the Quantum Leap next time. Indeed, Phil, maybe. Put some lemon juice on it, says Paul. If it fixed that white wine, it could fix anything, right? Number one was Bill Bailey's Balkan from 2013. Doug. So, let's see what we got here. Maybe it'll be covered in mold and I can just throw it away. No, it's in pristine condition. Oh, it smells very low-key. A little dry, but very nice looking tobacco. And boy, it's a full jar too. All right, we're going to be smoking this in this Trevor Talbert Squat Bulldog. Very nice pipe that doesn't get out enough. So. And this appears to just be sort of your standard ribbon cut. I know nothing about this. I think it's a Dan Tobacco product, but I could be completely wrong about that. That's just going on distant memory. And it's obviously a Balkan. And what is a Balkan? I don't know. It's got a lot of key in it. I think a Balkan has to have some Oriental in it too. Somebody help me with that. Yeah, well, it certainly has that in common, Michael. It cleared my sinuses like crazy. And by the way, I did jar up the peppermint mocha, and just to protect that topping. And yeah, I'm hoping to have some left in case I do wind up with a cold. I think it will really work. Okay, actually, it might have been the same blend, and yeah, I can imagine that mint might be a bit labile. The Piping Pastor, welcome. It's great to have you, my friend. And as I tell everyone, you can't be late. You're just in time. It doesn't mean anything, but I say it because I don't want people to feel bad. You know, we're all busy. Balkan is supposed to be Oriental forward. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, thank you, Ochoita. Yeah, I love this. It's a squat bulldog, and I've never really been much of a bulldog fan. And you know, as somebody that aspires to someday make a pipe, I've always thought this was a shape that I'd never want to deal with. But when I look at the lines on this one, it makes me think, yeah, that would be a challenge I'd like to try someday. Probably not for a very, very long time. Well, yeah. I dropped my lighter. I get it. So, just the charring light, but it's definitely got some lot of key in it. For those of you that don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of Latakia, but occasionally. And this has got that that Oriental backbone to it. I don't know how else to explain it. Like there's the Latakia flavor, but then the Orientals just add a little twist to it. And perhaps my biggest complaint about these kind of blends is that's pretty much all I'm getting, although I'm only like 3 puffs in, so let's see how it goes. It is Dan Tobacco. Thank you, Doug. Okay, so the Balkan should be Oriental forward, says Doug. And Kevin's saying this should technically be in English because it's Latakia forward. Okay. Well, oh, Phil, you're making a funny in joke that I don't think many people are going to get, and maybe you don't know that you're making. He's referring to the piping pasture as piping pasture, and that makes me think of pasture pipettes. Maybe you weren't even thinking of that, Phil, but that made me laugh. Couch was late, yes. I actually wrote that in my big book of things I write down. Holm was in the House Armed Service Committee, was with the House Armed Service Committee Chairman Mike Rogers today while he spoke to a small audience. Ah, I bet that was interesting, Paul. Yes, we're all having trouble with your name, Piping Pastor. Don't worry about it. Oh, so it was intentional, Phil. Well, you get points for that. Anybody that can make me laugh about pasture pipettes gets points. Kevin says when he wants Latakia, he gets out the pirate cake. Well, Kevin, you can have it. I just cannot smoke that stuff. Brutal enough. Good morning. 3 a.m. Well, it's so nice of you to join us. Oh, I hope you're not an accomplished scientist, Piping Pasture, because that's the only thing I got going for me. Pat your eyes, end in your belly. Okay, Paul. You're right, XJ. No one has said. We managed to not say piping pasta yet, so we're still somewhat literate. Hey, Smarty Bob, I missed you coming in. And he got it right. Fantastic. This doesn't quite seem like it's lit. I don't know if it's because it's just not quite lit, which is odd because it's a very dry blend. Or the blend is very dry, I should say. And I have to be careful because when this happens, this is when you burn your tongue. If you've got tobacco that's somewhat dry and it's not lighting well and you keep trying to light it, this is the smoke that you're bringing into your mouth will never be hotter than it is when you're trying to light it. So the more you try to light it, the more likely you are to get actual tongue burn. Hopefully that's got it done. Ah, you've been lurking, Bob. That's why I missed you. Yeah, this is not bad. I just wish it had something else going on. It's very, yeah, I get the Orientals, so that's nice. And I will say, compared to most what I would call Balkan blends that I've had, this one definitely is playing the Orientals up more, but the Latakia is still dominant. But that's pretty much all I'm getting. There's no, I'm not getting any Virginia or Burley or anything below that. Kevin Doolan's saying he thinks it has Kentucky in it too. Hmm. You know what? Let's look it up. I know how you guys love it when I look things up. Greek too? I gotta look this up. I don't think I wouldn't put Pirate Cake and Black Frigate in the same category. Brutal enough. I actually can smoke Black Frigate and like it. I've got a jar that I have to open up for because I usually smoke that around the holidays. Black Frigate does have a very high Latakia content, but it's not as much as Pirate Cake. Apparently, Ryan O'Neal has passed away at the age of 98. 98, is that right? Wow. Where are you? Sorry, I got to find the right. There we go. Bill Bailey's Balkan Blend. Come on. I just got to wait for the internet to catch up with me here. Hmm. So the description is full-strength blend consists of the best Virginia grades with various Oriental tobaccos, 10% dark-fired Kentucky leaf, and over 40% Latakia with a pinch of Perique. So by what I understand in terms of definition of Balkan, this is unlikely to, I wouldn't consider 10% versus 40% to be Oriental forward. Actually, the 10% is the dark fire. They don't even give a percentage for the Oriental. Kentucky, Latakia, Oriental, Turkish, Perique, Virginia. Hmm. Well, I like two of those things. But you know what? It's not. This is not the ordeal that some of the last 2 weeks have been. Yeah, Phil. It's funny how they often just they often put it separately when they're listing the Orientals for some reason. But you're right. Turkish is still an Oriental. Yeah, if I was in the mood for an English, not that this is supposed to be in English, but this wouldn't be a bad choice. I mean, I'd probably still want something like, oh, I don't know, Maltese Falcon. Is Oriental Silk. I always get Oriental Silk and Orion's Arrow confused. One of them is an Oriental blend, the other is an English, mild English. I think it's Oriental Silk. The other good one that's sort of a sleeper blend from Cornell and Deal is Constellation, which is, I think, really a nice, mild English. Piper on the 45. Good evening to you, sir. Yes, Sailor, I'm in the same boat. I used to smoke a lot of Latakia when I was younger, and it's kind of interesting. I can't say I went off of it. I just stopped smoking pipes for a while and smoked cigars for a couple of years, and then came back to pipes. And when I did, I couldn't stand Latakia. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. You're channeling Tim. Thank you. Been missing Tim. Hopefully he will be back soon. Smarty Bob, I thought Holly was going to be here, but apparently she ran off with our Santa Claus. So Hooker Troy, that's hilarious. Yeah, my brother keeps me up to date on such things, Patrick Grant, and he I saw as I was looking at to look up Bill Bailey's that he sent me a message saying Ryan O'Neal died. I think Ryan O'Neal was married to Farrah Fawcett. Yes, Patrick, I think so. That was a Christmas story, Lurker Troy. 98 when he passed. No, no, creator. Norman Lear. I thought Norman Lear was like 103. He died just a few days ago. I thought he was over 100. I thought it was 103. 98 is still fantastic, you know. All briared up. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Smooth Piper saying Norman Lear was 101. Hey, let's all fight over the age of Norman Lear. We got 2 votes for 101. Okay, you know what? We'll just average. He was, he was old. He lived a good long life. Ah, Holly at the local gun shop. Yeah. Yeah, that's the kind of girl you want by your side, XJ, until you don't, and then you gotta worry. Well, Brian Up says he didn't look a day between 98 and 104. He looked good for his age, didn't he? Wow, 102, Patrick. She sure had a good long run. And Lord Hogarth is saying his mother-in-law is 98 but looks much older. I mean, I think that's funny. I meet people sometimes that are in their 80s or 90s and I think they're in their 60s. And then other times I meet people that are in their 70s that look like they're, like 90 years old. And it's just funny how age just seems to affect people differently. Oh, All in the Family was a wonderful show, Brian. I did not hear that, Sailor. I hope it wasn't suicide. Although at 101, I probably wouldn't take that much, would it? I'm sorry, that was insensitive, but Todd Barstow smoking some Indian 99. Good to see you, Todd. Phyllis Diller dated Methuselah. As I get towards the bottom of this, it's starting to have some sweetness to it, which was lacking originally. It was a pretty flat, lot of Kia plus a little bit of Oriental, but this Virginia sweetness is nice. I wonder if furnace is coming on again. This just may not have been the right pipe for this. A deeper bowl might have brought out some more of that Virginia flavor. Smarty Bob, Phil has brought up Phyllis Diller more than anyone else on this live stream. I mean, that's not what I mean. More than anyone else on this live stream, Phil has been the person that has brought up Phyllis Diller the most. There you go. All Briared Up says John Cotton's Double Pressed Kentucky is a good blend. I don't know where the quote comes from, but I love this quote, and I'll say it in response to you, John. If that's the sort of thing you like, then I suppose you'll like that sort of thing. That's from some movie, but I don't know what. Peter's moving on to some holiday season from 2016. Peterson blend. Nice. I just realized I've got a lot of beer here. Phil, you just made me feel a little ill. A good cigar sampler gift for the holidays, asked Poem. Poem, if I was going to assemble my own sampler for someone, I would probably go with the Leaf series. uh, just because I really like them and I think they're unique cigars. Um, Brick House is a good option too, though. I really like that Brick House original. And they, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to put out a blend around a cigar around St. Patrick's Day that was called Hooligan or maybe Filthy Hooligan, something like that. But if I remember right, it was either a Candela or it was a barber pole Candela wrapper, and that was always really good. I used to look forward to that. Yeah, there's a series of cigars by is it Oscar Valdez? It's actually Island Jim from Leaf and Bean started this, but I think it might be Oscar Valdez now. They're called Leaf, and there's like a Leaf Sumatra, a Leaf Maduro. I think there's a Corojo, and they all come in different sizes and stuff. And they're actually wrapped. If you look at them, they look like this coarse rolled cigar, but they're wrapped in a tobacco leaf. You take that tobacco leaf off, and there's a really well made cigar underneath it. Brick House was Alec Bradley. Oh wait, no. Brick House was. You're saying that the hooligan was Alec Bradley, right? Backcountry Pipe. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know what it is, but it'll be $200 if that's what it is. That's a good one, Michael. So the Filthy Hooligan was an Alec Bradley. Okay. And Brickhouse is J.C. Newman. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I was confused. But yes, the Filthy Hooligan is a really good cigar. And the Brickhouse is a good cigar as well. And the Leaf cigars, the Leaf Sumatra is currently my favorite cigar. I just really enjoy that one. I don't smoke many of them, but yeah. In fact, I think my humidor might be getting a bit low on those if Mrs. CaneRod is watching, which she almost certainly isn't, but we're at that stage of the year where I start on a daily basis asking her what I can get her for Christmas, to which she replies, no. Or sometimes she'll tell me things that she knows full well I will not buy. Like I don't buy clothes. I don't want anybody to buy me clothes. You know, I don't want to wear clothes that somebody else picks out because I'm particular about such things. It doesn't look it, but like I'm not going to wear a pink T-shirt or I don't like V-necks. I like this kind of neck, and I don't want the Greg Tunnel style shirts. And so I want what I want, and I'm talking about T-shirts now, but when you get into pants and stuff, it gets more complicated. I don't want anybody to buy me clothes, and I want to buy my own clothes. And my wife will say, "Oh, I need socks." I'm not going to buy you socks, and even if I did, that's not a Christmas present. But I've got a Christmas list, because I've been making Christmas lists since I was 4 years old. I know how to do this. So we get into this thing where I keep asking her, and she keeps refusing to tell me. And I saw a little Babylon Bee article today, and the headline was, "Man contacts the NSA to see if they have any idea what his wife wants for Christmas." But yeah, that's accurate. So we smoked that right down to ash. And you know what? If it wasn't a lot of Kia blend, I'd probably say it was fantastic. It smoked well. It wasn't in any way unpleasant. it just was a lot of Kia, which, you know, sometimes I enjoy. So I'll probably enjoy smoking that over the next week, and maybe we'll keep that out for as the winter gets a bit more nippy. But for now, to get the taste of a lot of Kia out of my mouth, and because I still have a fair amount of beer to go, I'm going to load up another pipe with some Haunted Bookshop, and we are 1 minute to time, so if y'all need to go somewhere else, go. But I'll stick around for a few minutes for anybody that wants to stick around. And let me say this in case any of you are running out. We will be back next week with another one of these. And then the following week, I have been in touch with Santa, and Santa is going to try his best to make it. So we will have our annual interview with Santa unless Santa's busy schedule intervenes, in which case we'll do something else. But hopefully we'll be looking forward just 2 weeks from tonight to sitting down and having a smoke and a chat with good old Chris Kringle. So get your questions ready. You know how Santa loves those stumpers. Phil updated my list. Phil, you made me laugh. Thank you. Poem, are you commenting on that price because you think it's expensive or because you think it's cheap? Because at least in my part of the world, you can't get a good cigar for under $9, and that's averaging out to about $9. I'm not happy about that, but it's just like... Ah, Couch, I see you're doing it too. No, do not send me any pink t-shirts. I will thank you for them. I will hold them up proudly on YouTube and say, look what somebody bought me, and I will never wear them. So it'll be a waste of pink t-shirts. As if such things can be wasted. I agree with you, Beowulf. I think it's a shame we throw the clothes away just as they're starting to get comfortable. And yeah, I'm not exactly an example of high fashion here. You can see all the wrinkles and the neck is stretched out and everything, but this shirt isn't even comfortable yet. Phil, did you see my 80s yearbook photo? Canary yellow, herringbone weave. Really, Sailor? I don't see many good cigars for $6 around here. Yeah, see, Brian, I've had the Nica Rustica, and it's a fine cigar. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't put it in the same category as something like the Leaf. And I don't mean to be a cigar snob by any stretch. Uh, you know, I enjoy less expensive cigars. I smoke them. I usually smoke them because those are, you know, what I can afford. But I think there's a step up in quality for some of the, and granted, there are some cigars that are in that price category that are probably not worth it. But you know, you get what you pay for, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know, but one of the reasons I so infrequently smoke cigars these days is the cost of them. Yeah, and at least we don't live in XJ's neck of the woods. $90 for a cigar, my goodness. Yeah, Michael, I did have to get a whole new wardrobe. I hung on to the old ones as long as I could because they were just so darn comfortable, but they were getting silly big. And in a sense, it's good to throw those away because if I fall off the wagon a bit and eat a few extra desserts or something, I feel the pants getting tighter, and that's a good thing. Oh, really, Phil? Well, I guess if you're gonna freeze your arse off in Chicago O'Hara, at least you looked good doing it, right? No, no, backcountry pipe. I've had the Canadian cigar shop experience, and it is, boy, it's something. I mean, I this was years ago, but I went to a cigar shop in Montreal where an employee literally wearing white gloves took me into the humidor, which I was not allowed to touch anything, and would pick up the cigar and show it to me. It was like I was buying diamonds or something. And I think what I paid for that cigar, I probably could have gotten a box of cigars back home. Uh, it was a Cuban. It was, I was in Montreal. It was something different, but man, pricey. Absolutely, Michael. There's nothing wrong with a Perotti. I love them. Or Swisher Sweets, Luke, Lurker Troy. Yeah. But the original question was about a gift sampler, and I mean, if you want to give me a pack of Perotis, I won't turn them down. But well, Phil, let me explain that to you. You live on the East Coast. You got a job. You got to dress up for it. You buy a lot of black socks, and then summer comes, and you get to wear shorts. Usually, maybe 2 days a week, but probably not because you got to go to church on Sunday. So maybe one day a week, and then you go on vacation for a week. Are you going to buy white socks just for that? Yeah. And by the way, it's not the loafers, it's the sandals and the black socks that you got to watch out for. Lurker Troy checking out. You have a great weekend, buddy. Is it just me, or the hands now pink for everybody? Really, Phil? Well, that's remarkable because I made it up on the spot. Ah, Beowulf's Miss Kathy says the Dark Shark cigars are good. Good flavor and burn for the price. You did say 58, Phil. Yep, showing your age there. Yeah, you guys have had some good luck finding some of those less expensive, good quality cigars. I'll have to look into Dark Shark. It's just me. So, Smarty Bob, that hand looks pink to me. It looks pink and it's got like these little spots coming off it that are, I don't know what they're for. It's got like two little, like an exclamation, not an exclamation point, a quotation mark coming off between the middle finger and the ring finger. And you know, the kids with their emojis, they all mean something that I don't understand. And I worry about that because I use them in text messages to people. And, you know, I send this text message and I think, oh God, what did I just send them? Because it looks right to me and I don't know what these things mean. Carrying an umbrella does that, Michael? That's not good. Oh, that's interesting. Peretti's got a 159th anniversary stick. Do you have to go there to get it, Phil? Okay, Everett sees the big hands too. Big Country Briar, how you doing, Cole? Just home from the middle school Christmas carol and he needs a drink. Well, sit down and have one, buddy. The little spots are to show it's waving, says Smarty Bob. Okay, I'll buy that. You know, all briared up, that's the one that scared me. So I've never used it, but I heard somebody say that it means, well, they told me what it means, and I still don't quite understand that. But, and I thought, well, if that has a meaning, then maybe they all have meanings. And, you know, there's sometimes these subtly different ones, like it'll be a guy smiling, and then it'll be a guy smiling with his mouth open. I don't know. I'm too old for this stuff. I should just go back to doing LOL and colon dash close parenthesis. If I'm feeling really tricky, I'll go to semicolon dash close parenthesis. Feisty was the word I was looking for. Oh, it's a Fuente. Okay, they were the first. Well, that makes sense. I mean, given how long they've been around. Yeah, it's true, Phil. We don't do the colon and the semicolon. Michael Case lives in a no Imogene zone? You're not allowed to watch Imogene Coco? What? Michael, you confused me. Was it Imogene Coco that was in that show, It's About Time? Timber Drifter wants us to try hieroglyphs, Phil. All right, XJ. Take care, buddy. You have a great weekend. Semicolonoscopy, you don't want one of those, Phil. Yeah, Smarty Bob, I remember that. Oh, I get you, Michael. You're trying to spell emoji. I don't know how to spell it either, but I read Imogene. I'm sorry. Colonoscopies are like invasive species? There you go. Phil spelled it for you. He's younger than me. He can do that. You're not proud you know that, John. Yeah, I know. Big Dave knows how to spell it too. Okay. Remember this, guys. Phil Rivera, all briared up, and Big Dave all know how to spell emoji. Henceforth, they will be known as the kids. Well, guys, if I don't finish this up, I'm going to go all night. So, and believe me, it doesn't get better. So, I'm going to finish up this tiny little bit that I have left. And wish you all a good evening. I hope you have a great weekend and a fantastic week ahead. We'll be back on Sunday with something or the other. Video, not live stream. And we'll be back next Friday, which will be our last pre-Christmas special. Friday after that, we got Santa Claus coming. So I hope you're looking forward to that. I'll look forward to seeing you next Friday. So you'll have a fantastic week. And thanks for joining me. Take care, guys.